Hello, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the On Air with Uthmaan Solomons podcast. My name is Uthmaan Solomons, and I'm your host this afternoon. Today, just a few things that I want to make mention of: the new lockdown levels that we went in, my crowdfunding campaign, and I also want to make mention of the latest donator slash contributor. Thank you for joining. Right, so the president spoke a night or two ago, 2 nights ago, and he increased the lockdown levels to level 2. What this essentially means is that there's a new curfew on the cards, and all of this comes because of the fact that there is a steady rise in the number of COVID-19 infections. And as you all know, I'm also requested or still went on my crowdfunding campaign because I would like to be able to record my podcast, do my radio shows at home, and not necessarily having to rush to get to the radio station on the days when I am to do my radio shows. With the announcement by the president yesterday morning, I also then received communication from the radio station itself, from the station management, obviously to keep in line with the request from the president and to stay within the COVID-19 regulations. A few things now has been adjusted. The number of guests allowed in the studio will only be limited to one person. Interviews may be done telephonically where possible. And of course, we know we need to sanitize our hands and those kind of things. And the reason why I went on the request for you to go to bekkabuddy.co.za and donate on my campaign is mainly because there are times when I'm unable to get to the studio, and with the equipment I want to purchase with the monies, I would be able to do the recordings off-site and not necessarily having to go into the radio station itself. With that being said, I need to continue encouraging you guys to go onto the webpage. If you have difficulty there, you may get in contact with me directly, and I will see if there's any way I can make it means for you to donate safely. I know one of the concerns by one of the listeners was whether or not the Becca Buddy webpage was safe and secure. And personally, I haven't had anybody who said there were issues. But if you want to get in contact with me directly, you know the number 082-217-5636. You may send me a text message, call me, or the quickest way to get my attention would be to send me a WhatsApp. Speaking of the campaign, I've mentioned last week about one donator. I've now also received funds from another donator. Now this person, how can I say, she's a single mother of 2, and she reached out to me and she said that she wants to make a contribution. She's a scheme administrator of one of the country's leading financial institutions. What else can I say about her? I've known her all my life, literally. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together for your friend and my sister, Maureen Lutu. She said she wants to make that contribution, and she actually did. So to my sister Maureen Lutu, thank you very much. Your donation means a lot to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And what I would like to share with you guys at the moment, I have received some funds, and to prove to you that this is not merely me sitting back and wanting handouts. What I've decided to do is to now, for every person who contributes, I will match half the value of their contribution. So if you donate, let's say 50 Rand, I will dig in my pocket and fork out 25 Rand. If you contribute 300 Rand, I will contribute 150 Rand. I want to prove to you that this is definitely not a campaign where I want to sit back and, how can I say, hoe sê hulle in Afrikaans? Handjies bak aan sit. No, I want to achieve the goal of the I've set up, but I know the limit, the time frame that I've put myself, the duration would be to acquire the equipment by August for the latest. I know I might not get there in time, but I encourage you guys, if there's any amount you've contributed, I will match it with half of your value. And I'm hoping that we can get to the target value of 20,000 Rand sooner rather than later, because as soon as the levels go up, my access to the radio station might once again be sort of limited, or I might not have access to the radio station at all. And by that time, I would really like to be equipped to be able to do my recordings at home, or even as now while I'm doing this podcast from my vehicle. But thank you so much for those of you who sharing the request on the social media platforms. Thank you for those who's engaging on means to get the funds through to me. I really do appreciate it. And that's really all I have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Ek was so gefocus om my Wi-Fi router gecharged te hou. Ek het gecheck dat my phone gecharged moet bly nie. In fact, die phone het my amper, dat het my definitely slapelose nagte gegee, maar amper hartaanval. Late last week, I forgot this phone at work somewhere. And this is the only phone I have which is able to, that has the Google Play Store and can run the Google Play apps, and hence can also run the app that I'm recording the podcast on. I almost thought that I've lost it. In fact, that evening I drove up and down in Atlanta to see where I've been, if I could maybe pick it up again or locate it. It turned out that I found it at work the following day. But yeah, this is the only device I have. I would like to be able to have more than one means of recording these podcasts. But like I always say, I do have the money to buy the equipment. It's just in the pockets of the listeners. All right. I hope that makes sense. I've got the money to buy the equipment. I've got the money that I need for my crowdfunding campaign, but it's just in your pockets. And I ask you to make the donation and make the contribution. Until next time, boys and girls, remember to continue wash those hands, wear your face mask, and of course, keep safe social distances from each other. Bye-bye.